What's up, beautiful people? Coleman L. Gilliams here, I King Amongst Kings, CLG Speaks. Coming at you with another video. Hope you guys are feeling blessed. Hope you guys are grateful to be alive. Some people didn't wake up this morning. We did, and that's enough reason for us to be grateful. Per usual, I'm coming on with a video of encouragement, but we're doing something a little different this time. So for those of you who do know or don't know, I've moved to LA. It's been about a year since I've been here, and well, less than a year. And what we don't see from New York, if you're from New York or wherever across the country, you don't see, some of the issues that I guess are not as glamorous or won't attract you to come into a city like LA. And so one of the first things that I realized as soon as I landed, I drove from New York City to California, was the homeless population. And, people have their assumptions, perceptions, projections, of what a homeless person is or why people are homeless. But since I've been here, I've learned that there are different reasons for homelessness. It's not just, economic crisis or mental illnesses or addictions. People are homeless for different reasons. So today I wanted to interview a friend of mine that I just met here, and he was so kind to oblige in allowing me to do this interview. So we're winging this. I'm winging this. This is my first time. Thank you guys for supporting me. And so here we go. All right, brother man, what's your name again for the people?
Ron Beachman.
All right, guys, this is Ron Beachman. And yeah, Ron, so tell me, why are you out here?
Well, I was called here from Chicago.
Okay.
Actually, I lived and served there for a year in a mission, and then God called me here in 2009.
Okay.
So I'm called to the homeless. I've done 3 years in missions and 8.5 years on the sidewalk.
Okay.
I got another year and a half, and I believe I'm completed with my assignments, and I'm going to get off the streets, write my book. I'm a veteran. I have income. I stopped my military retirement intentionally so I can live by faith, so I can experience
Okay.
what homeless people experience.
Okay.
So that's basically, I'm
Wow.
85% complete. So
Wow, this is awesome. So you feel like you're being led by the Spirit of God.
yes.
You're on
absolutely.
assignment.
Yes.
Wow, this is interesting.
Absolutely.
Okay, so it's been about 10, 11 years?
Yeah, 8 years, 8.5 on the sidewalk, and 3 years in missions, rescue missions, which is part of the homeless experience.
Okay.
So God called me to do that. My calling is to walk in street people's shoes and
Okay.
minister on their level. Well, you were in midnight mission, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, for
I know
5
about
months.
the midnight.
Yes.
I spent a lot of time there years ago, but I would use their services this morning.
Okay.
I ate breakfast.
Breakfast,
there.
yeah.
Yeah.
Breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah.
Right. I ate breakfast and then on the corner father's table. So right there are 2 meals being served. But I ate 3 breakfast sandwiches. I just telling my friend this morning. I'm like, they were hot and they're from Starbucks.
Okay. Yes.
They were good.
Yes. Yes.
They were hot.
Yes.
I wolfed down 3 of
Yes.
them. Then I ate some soup. So yeah.
So what keeps you motivated? What keeps you encouraged and steadfast in your walk? Like, what empowers you?
I told you I travel.
Yes.
I get a break. A lot of people out here don't get a break. I went to Israel 9 times, Rome 4 times. I was in Paris, London, and Stockholm. And I was in Washington, D.C. last March.
Okay.
So that helped. Of course, God's been there with me, but I couldn't have done it if I didn't have a place to go and take a sabbatical up in the Bay Area.
Okay.
And then they invited me to travel with them internationally.
Okay.
So that kind of kept me going, just on a practical sense. You got to have a break from the madness.
Yes.
And prayer in the Bible.
Yes. Amen.
That's what I'm doing here. I'm resting, I'm reading, getting away from it, and kind of recharging.
Okay.
And to stay focused and hopeful. I'm writing a book. I've been working on it for years, and I know I'm going to travel because of the book.
Okay.
God's revealed that to me. So.
Okay. And what has been the reception with your ministry? Have people been receptive on the street?
Some have, some haven't.
Okay.
When people realized that I became one of them, they were more receptive.
Okay.
So I wasn't just coming down there, maybe and preaching at them and then leaving, but I endured the hardship they endured. I even had people tell me, "You're one of us." So
Okay.
when they saw that I endured what they endured, then they opened up to me. They're more receptive. I think my ministry more is of a not so much what I say, but what I do.
Okay.
You know, that's kind of I live what they live. I walk in their shoes,
Okay.
so it's different. You know, I guess in that sense.
Okay. So it reminds me of a scripture. I don't know if it was Peter or Paul who was saying he became like certain people in order to relate to them.
Right.
Yeah?
It was Paul.
Paul.
I just
Okay.
read it because I just finished First Corinthians.
Okay.
I'm in Second Corinthians. He just said
Okay.
I became poor so I could reach the poor.
Yes.
You say the same thing about the Jews and everybody else. I just read it a couple days ago. I said, oh, that kind of applies to me. So
Yes.
I became poor so I could reach the poor, I guess. Or I became homeless so I could reach the homeless.
Wow. So what would you say is the worst thing that has happened, or the worst response, or the most negative response from someone who you've tried to minister to? Any physical attacks or disrespect?
I've had that happen out here, you know, but it wasn't a response of
Okay.
my walk. It just being out there, being robbed,
Okay.
you know, strong arm robbery and just assaults. Yeah, that's
Okay.
just normal. That's a normal experience out here, but people don't realize you get attacked, you know.
Just random attacks just because
yeah,
they
random.
perceive your homelessness?
Right. It's just wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah.
You know, that's been probably, if you're asking me the worst experience, yeah, that's been it, you know.
So how would you encourage someone who maybe foresee or perceive or have belief that these type of things will happen and they want to minister for God, but they're fearful of attacks and
Right.
being persecuted, you know?
Yeah.
How would you encourage someone to, you know, trust God, I guess? You know?
Well, you just said it. Just trust God.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, if God's calling them to do it, and they really
Yeah.
believe God's calling them to do it, you have to go.
Yeah.
You know, you can say, well, no, I'm not going to go
Yeah.
because I wanted to go to Russia. That's what I was praying about.
Yeah.
And he said, no, I want you to go in the streets, walk in street people's shoes and minister on the love. And I go, what? You want me to do what? I just
Yeah.
retired from the military. And my nephew was a missionary in Russia, and that's what I was praying. I said, Lord, I'm going to go to Russia. I had a ministry he's going to send me. And he came out of this out of the blue, you know, just like totally just blew my mind. But eventually I did. I obeyed him. You know, it took almost a year before I actually did it. And because I really struggled with that.
Yeah.
And then eventually he directed me to stop my retirement
Okay.
and live by faith, which I did for 5 years. And
Okay.
then I got my Social Security. So I had Social Security for a year, and he's like, don't use that. So just
Interesting.
recently, I gave my debit card to my best friend I told you about, took care of his mother.
Yes,
He's a
yeah.
believer.
Okay.
And he said, stop using that. I want you to go back to live by faith. That's why I was at the midnight this morning. So I can't use my
Yes.
debit card again.
Yes.
Zero.
Yes.
So it's a faith walk, I guess.
Yes.
You know,
And so where do you like refresh yourself? You know, sleep, shower, eat. Well, I know you eat at the midnight, but where do you like shower and
yeah,
sleep?
they got the Fresh Spot, which I've been using recently. That's actually really good. I'm
Okay.
amazed by that. That's on town. They got the restrooms, showers, and you can do laundry.
Yes.
I don't have a phone.
Yeah, yeah.
I haven't had a phone in years, but people charge their phone there, and the people are really professional.
Yes.
I thanked them. I said, "You guys are amazing."
Yes.
But I don't sleep in Skid Row now. I kind of sleep up on Grand, above Grand Park. So
Okay.
it's a pretty quiet spot. I've slept down in Skid Row, but that's kind of not a good place.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Not on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
You know?
So you mentioned Skid Row. So you mentioned adjusting your life to, you know, to become according to the groups of people you're trying to minister to, right? So do you believe that in order to minister to an addict, let's say an alcoholic or, you know, a drug addict or whatever, that you have to become that in order to minister to them?
No,
Okay.
absolutely not. I'm kind of this is extremely unusual.
Okay.
This is not the norm. It's just that this is what God called me to do. There's all kinds of ministries down there that I've worked with, the Dream Center, Jesus knows your name. You know, they're doing what God called them to do. This is rare.
Okay.
So no, absolutely not. Whatever God's calling them to do, if they obey and go down there, the Lord will use them. You
Okay.
know? And they minister to me.
Right.
All these ministries, because I'm with the homeless and they're ministering to me. So they've been a blessing, tremendous blessing to me, especially the Korean ministries.
Okay.
You know.
Okay. Yeah, no, they have the midnight. They have the Christian clinic. Is that what is it called? It's a clinic. I think it's called a LA Christian Clinic. Basically, you know, they provide free health services for the homeless and stuff like that, dental, things like that. Anything that you wanna, as we round up, anything that you wanna, you know, kind of enlighten a viewer on about just homelessness and just stereotypes and things like that, you know, when coming across a homeless person, not to assume. I don't know, anything you want to share, personal thoughts?
That's important, because like my friend, like I said, he's out here because he took care of his mother for 9 years.
Yeah.
I mean, and then when she passed away, you know, he ended up homeless. And this guy, I call him 1 in a million.
Okay.
He's amazing, unbelievable. He's got a real nice apartment.
Wow.
He's on general relief, and twice a week he comes down and visits us.
Okay.
He doesn't have to. He brought me hot water for tea and some food, and he checks on us. He's been doing this for a while. And when he was in the street, he was just the most amazing guy. That's why when the people that people concerned that start working with him go, wow, you just can't help but like this guy. So exactly, don't assume anything until you actually talk to the person, get to know him. And what I always tell people is, get to know one person, one homeless person. Just try and help them.
Yes.
You know, if you can. You know, you can't help. You know, even Jesus said you're always going to have the poor with you. You know.
Yes.
But you'd be amazed when you get out there and find these people. This guy worked for the post office. He delivered letters. I retired from the military. Mike was a CNA. You know, and this person. It's just amazing when you start getting to know these people, their backgrounds. You go, wow, and they're homeless. So, you know, that whole. It's called the MAD, mentally ill, addicted, dirty, does not apply to all of them, you know.
Wow.
So unfortunately, it is a stereotype. That's the acronym, MAD, mentally ill, addicted, and dirty. And they put the label on everybody, including me.
Yes.
But that's part of it. I'm supposed to endure that. I know what it's like to feel like a leper, a modern day leper. The Lord actually wanted me to endure that. We call it the treatment.
Okay.
It's actually what we call the treatment.
And it seems like with that, for me, that would be like being strengthened against not caring about what people think, right? Caring about what God thinks or believes above all else, obedience.
Right.
And it's like, you know, building that strength, your identity in God, you know, regardless of what the world thinks, regardless of cultural and societal expectations, I am who God says I am, regardless of what you see on the outside. Wow. Well, Ron, thank you so much for this interview. Guys, again, if you like what this is about, you know, email me, send me a message. I will be, you know, would love to do more of these interviews and have more of these conversations. Homelessness is something that's been dear to my heart. It's something that I believe about 10 years ago, God was kind of introducing me to, and I'm finally taking a step. You know, at some point you gotta take that leap of faith. Me moving from New York City to California, you know, it was something I should have done 4 years ago, actually. But again, I didn't have the courage or the confidence. My spirit wasn't strong enough to do it. But glory to God for his grace and his mercy and his loving kindness. He opened the door for me to come, and I came, and I'm here. So with that being said, my beautiful people, thank you for watching. Talk to you guys soon.